in student housing. She was very pregnant, and it was an early March evening. I had just come back from working as an orderly at the hospital at the university, and I was tired, and I lay down, and pretty soon I was asleep. And not long thereafter, Mary Jo said, "You better wake up. I think I've got some contractions going here." So like a dutiful husband, I got right up and got my watch out, and I timed the contractions. I was being very scientific, and when the contractions got fairly close together, I thought, this is time to get out of here and go to the hospital. So we wrapped up everything, went over to the hospital, lickety split, and we went into their unit, which is called lying-in hospital. It specializes in maternity kind of things. Well, when your wife is in labor, you can stay with her for a while and hold her hand and encourage her, and there comes a point where someone says to you, "Mr. Hickok, it's time to leave now, and you'll go and sit in the room where Father's waiting." She pointed me down the hall to the room and said, "You go on in there and wait, we'll get you later." I went in, I started my waiting process, and 2 or 3 of the gentlemen in there came in after me and were called out before I was. So I started this process of imagining horrible results, imagining that Mary Jo was in great peril, that the baby was in peril, all kinds of things. And the reason it was taking so long was that it was bad news. I was going over the hill with negative thoughts. And finally, after these other fellows went out before me, some of them came in after me, finally my name was called. And I went in to see Mary Jo, who was beaming with happiness. She said, "It's a beautiful baby." She wanted no one to tell me that it was a boy until she saw me, so I then got the news it was a boy. And we hugged and kissed and just celebrated the moment and thank God for the fact that she was still alive and the baby was fine. And then in a few minutes, they rolled the baby in a all glass small bassinet. You could see right through to the baby. He was laying there, contemplating his new life. He looked a little worse for the wear. He was just lying there, letting his toes and hands sort of expand into the space. And I thought, that is the single most beautiful sight I have ever seen in my life. And nothing has occurred in the 50 years since to change my mind.